Hello YouTube, it's your boy B3 with a fancy unboxing video. Yeah, I don't do unboxing videos a lot, but I wanted to do one for this simply because it's a nice, cool little starter set. It is the tabletop role-playing game adventure Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty. So it is a crossover, because remember, there was a Rick and Morty Dungeons & Dragons comic book crossover, but there was also a crossover within the game. It's a freaking Rick dungeon, wubba lubba dub dub. We're doing this on my futon because I kind of got a hot set on my filming table, which means it's a set that can't be touched for continuity reasons. So can't do that right now. But I still wanted to open this, so dirty futon it is. It's supposed to be like a dungeon where Rick is the dungeon master, which is a really cool idea. See, it comes with all kinds of stuff. It's time for Rick to roll. Grab your pencils and lose your mind. I've made a dungeon, Morty. Well, it's more than a dungeon. It's a freaking masterpiece, packed full of Rickness, monsters, treasure, me-seeks, bugbear butts, you name it. Since I made it, no one has ever survived this dungeon. It's a meat grinder, Morty. I made it to chew up the Jerrys of the world. Now all you mouth breathers in this dimension can experience my adventure writing ingenuity. So get all your friends and get in there, Morty. Oh, and don't lose your butt. The set includes a 64-page rulebook, The Lost Dungeon of Rickedness, Big Rick Energy, a 44-page original adventure, Dungeon Master screen, 5 pre-generated character sheets, and 11 polyhedral dice. These are actually my first dice like this. This is my first dice set. Oh, it's in a little baggie! They're very Rick and Morty colors. That's definitely for sure. Got all the standard dice that you need for Dungeons & Dragons. It's a D20 system. I actually have a lot of D20s from other games like Star Wars Miniatures and etc. But you see, these are real Rick and Morty like portal gun colors. It's a really nice dice set. I never had my own dice set like this because my friends are dice goblins and they always have like a ton of dice. So I just use theirs, but now I finally have my own set. Very unique set too, I really like it. Actually, let's roll for initiative there. Like we do on the podcast. I also have a tabletop gaming podcast called Tabletop Recap. We are going to play this for the podcast and then do a recap review of it, telling our story and everything. Now here's the rulebook. It's basically just a normal D&D rulebook, but it's annotated by Rick. So all the cool kids are playing it now, but it's really for crusty old bastards like me and desperately horny teens like you and everyone else. That burp was not to sound like Rick. I actually burped. Yeah, D&D is for everyone, but also for me and you. Just hold on 1 second while your grandpa opens this bottle. Okay, this box set is a way for you to understand the basics, but I read through it and it's too basic. It needs fixing, so I marked it with important notes for you, Morty. This kind of genius stuff you really need to know to Rickroll this thing. The thing of this adventure, knowledge, Morty. Advanced knowledge. A separate but kind of the same version of the same game, only slightly different, but the same. Oh, Lord. So as you can see, it's got all these little boxes where it's annotated by Rick. Like, prepared spells. This is a feeble attempt to try and impose some kind of cap on wizardly supremacy. If I'm ever a player at your table, you can ignore these limits. They're unnecessary. But it still has beautiful Dungeons & Dragons art as well as Rick and Morty stuff. Like, see, there's them getting their loot. Rolling a natural 20 is always exciting, Morty. Yes, it's just one number out of 20, and it shouldn't be a big deal, but it feels awesome. Lord, you randomly generated superiority over everyone else. Take a photo of it and send it to your mom. Really fun. Really good stuff. I'm gonna go through this and read all the annotations just for the comedy, but I do know the rules, because I have been playing for like 15 years after all. And then here is the dungeon. The Lost Dungeon of Rickedness. Big Rick Energy. And I will be the DM on this campaign since I bought it. But there's the big dungeon. Wow, a lot of rooms. I've never run a pre-made before. I've always only run homebrews. So I'm very interested to see what happens in this. To be completely honest, I need to, before my friends and I do this, I need to reread it, or read through it. Oh, there's mimics in it! Yes! I love mimics! I really want that mimic miniature from Monsters Menagerie. But this is cool. I'm not going to tell you too much about this because I don't want to spoil it for the podcast. Is that a Lich Rick? Oh, Lord. Listen up, you're in my dungeon now, Morty, on Earth C-141. I'm a legendary D&D adventure writer. When people think of impossibly difficult dungeons or winding labyrinthine maps, those things ain't Gygaxian, they're Shanchezian. I do whatever I want over there, and they eat it up. I'm a celebrity dungeon master there, too. My live streams show Cynical Troll. Gets 1 billion views a day. Cynical Troll, I love it. It seems a little selfish to contain all that greatness in a single dimension, so I lifted one of the all-time favorite Sanchezian adventures and stuck it back in here to dimension C-132. Usually that kind of shit is frowned upon, but it's just a D&D adventure. We're not exactly violating the Prime Directive or whatever. This is a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl for a party of first-level adventurers whose character sheets this box should also contain. They'd probably reach 3rd level by the end of it. So here it is. The adventure once brought peace to a warring galaxy. What did you ever do? Oh, you picked up this adventure? Good start. And away we go. I'm excited to read through this. Very, very excited. It's got some crazy-looking stuff. So, I'm ready, Daddy-O. I am ready. This is one of the things I was most excited about, this DM screen. It's kind of just a cheap cardboardy DM screen, but one, I didn't have a DM screen, and I knew it would have all this helpful information on the inside, and it's even got little doodles. Oh, that's cool. Yes, these doodles are also in the other book, so they're recycled doodles, but they're both made for this set, so I'm good with it. But yeah, lots of information on the DM screen. Oh, yeah, these item prices and stuff will be really helpful. But yeah, you see there's lots of cool art on the DM screen. You got Summer Ranger, Giant Spider, Goblins, Wizard Rick, this guy who just got his throat slit by Morty. Is that Meat Grinder? Is that dude's name? Well, we're about to find out. So here's Summer's character, Ari Strongbow. Oh, she's a fighter, actually. I was expecting Ranger. Just, she looks kind of rangery with the bow and the clothes. Fighter's good, too. Looks like a decent little character to me. I really dig it. Actually, let me get all these out so it's easier to look at them all. So that's Summer. And then Morty's probably a half-orc or something. This one's in backwards. Oh, it's the Jerry. Kier Bravan, Wizard level 1, half-elf. Half-elf is, well, Summer was half-elf too. Half-elf is actually a pretty great race to play as, to be completely honest. He's got a quarterstaff and stuff. That's pretty cool. I really dig that. And then Morty, half-orc, I called it. Half-orc. I knew he'd be a rogue. I could tell by looking at him. That's really cool, too. I wonder if my friends will want to use these. They probably won't want to use these. They'll probably want to make their own characters. But if I ever play with any people starting out, these would be good things to have. Wood Elf for Beth. That's pretty cool. I've never played as a Wood Elf before. I've played as a Half-Elf, and I'm going to play as a Half-Elf again soon. I've played as Human. I'm about to play as a Lizard Folk in a campaign. I'm really excited for the Lizard Folk. I've DM'd plenty of Lizard Folk, but never actually played as one. And then, Meatface, that's this dude's name. I don't know who he's based on, or what he's supposed to be. I think he's just a random dude. Meatface, fighter, human, noble background. That's unexpected. That's very unexpected. Great axe, javelin. Yeah, these are pretty cool things. And then here's like an ad. Wow, an ad, Morty. Yeah, my friends have most of this stuff. Big Boy Chungus actually has almost all of this stuff. He has a player's handbook, he has Dungeon Master's Guide, Monster Manual, Volo's Guide to Monsters, Anagar's Guide to Everything, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Yeah, he has all that stuff. So I don't need to get any of that. I do want to read this book, though, because I read the ongoing series, but I didn't read the mini-series just to kind of save myself money. I think they've done 2 Dungeons & Dragons series now. Sorry, I'm not really watching the camera very much. Yeah, it's basically a D&D ad and then an ad for the comic book. Yeah, I really need to read this. Morty wants to learn how to play Dungeons & Dragons, but Grandpa Rick's campaign draws the entire family into a deadly alternate universes into deadly alternate universes governed by the rules of the game. That actually sounds really, really cool. I need to read that, yeah. For sure. Because I read the ongoing series, and the ongoing comic series is actually quite good. So we get that ad, the character sheets, the DM, Screen-Areno, Buckaroo, we got the dungeon, the rule book, as well as the D-Say. Everybody loves the D-Say. And they gave me 3 D6, because you always got to roll D6 a bunch of times. So, that's it. And it comes in a nice reusable box, which I really like, so I can just keep it all in my nice little box still. I actually wasn't expecting it to be in a reusable box, but it is, and that makes me very happy. So, yeah, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, Tabletop Recap, because we are going to play through this dungeon relatively soon. We're going to play one of Karen the Manager Slayer's campaigns for a little while, and then we're going to play Big Boy Chungus's Waterdeep Dragon Heist for a little while. And then it'll be my turn to run Rick and Morty. So I've got plenty of time to get well versed in it and everything. Plenty of time to get my miniatures in order and all that stuff. So yeah, that's actually it. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And remember to check out Tabletop Recap. We do a lot of Dungeons & Dragons stuff on there, and lots of other tabletop gaming stuff. Recently, there's just been a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, but that's because I've been writing and playing it a lot, because, I've been in quarantine, and, I've just been playing it online in quarantine, and I just realized there's a die hanging out. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support. See you all next time.